is to function as a soul. Yesterday we were discussing about it. The goal of man is to function as a soul, as a spiritual being, activated by spiritual qualities. We do not function as soul because we have no proper use of the relationships. So and so this is possible. That means to function as a soul, as a spiritual being, is possible through right relationships. In our mundane life we have so many relationships, that is okay. We keep relationships and all, but whether they are right relationships or not, we have to verify. Without right relationship, unless you know what is right relationship, unless you try to follow this right relationship, you cannot have the soul experience. So the soul has inherent capabilities of God. Because yesterday we have discussed that. Soul is part of the spirit, one spirit. So whatever is there as the quality in the whole, in the original, that you find also in the soul, because soul is a part of it. Suppose you have a can full of water. So if you take a glass of water from this, the water in the glass will have the same quality and property of the water in the can. In the same manner, the soul is inherent, it has inherent capabilities of God. But since we are not able to make properly our relationship, due to this radiation, this light of the soul is very dim, as if you have your light suddenly, if the voltage is down, the light will become dim. If the voltage is full, it is bright. If voltage falls down, it becomes dim. Similarly, since we are in our daily life, we don't apply the proper right relationships. Because of this bright light of the soul will be very dim. Therefore, we are not able to make use of it perfectly. Same thing is explained also by Patanjali in the Yoga Sutras, that due to the chitta vritti, the behavior of the mind, the light of the inner self, the soul, is obstructed. Therefore, we are not in yogic state. So Patanjali said, yogic state means when the activity of the behavior of the mind is suspended, then the obstacles will not be there anymore, then the light which is radiated from the soul will have full illumination in you. That is the yogic state. In the average man or woman, it has not asserted its control of the personality. It means the soul. So this personality should be under the control of this soul. But in the average human being, a man or woman, this is not proper. So the soul is not allowed to have proper control on the personality. Personality is more active and much stronger. So when you are living as a personality, then it is the mind fellow who controls everything. The mind acts as if he is the owner. Master Ike always used to explain while explaining about the yoga, he used to explain that the soul is the inner light, and below this you have the mind at the center of the personality. Mind. So this mind is like a manager. You see, in an organization there will be a manager. So if anybody approaches, the soul is there inside in deeper consciousness. So the manager is in contact with the outer world, and he tries to show himself as the owner, ultimate owner. So therefore he tries to hide the real owner, and he acts as if he is the owner. Master said, this fellow is like a proxy. Proxy. Proxy, not the real. The real owner is inside, but this fellow is a proxy.
What is proxy?
Proxy means the one who acts as the real but not real. That is the proxy. Duplicate. The mind is a duplicate. He is a proxy. But the mind tries to show himself as the controller. The mind fellow does not allow us to get into contact with the soul, because he is there in the middle. That is the problem. That is why we cannot experience the soul consciousness. So in the average man or woman, it has not asserted its control on the personality, and also its instrument. So when there is no control over the personality, automatically the instrument also is not under control, because all this is controlled by the mind. Individuals are at all stages of that control. Before the soul can express itself through the medium of personality, the personality has to be subdued. So if you want that the soul should express as it is, then first we have to make the personality surrender to the soul. Without this, it is not possible. That is what Patanjali also says. You have to surrender what I have to what I am. We have two parts in us. One is what I am and what I have. I am is the light, the true existence, and I have is what is all arranged around this I am, like a web. So Patanjali says, Ishvara Pranidhana. Ishvara Pranidhana. We have to make this. Pranidhana means total surrender. Ishvara means the Lord, the controller. So we have to submit what I have to what I am. That is the meaning of this. I am is Ishvara, the Lord in us. I have is all which is like a spinning of the web, all what is arranged around. So all this what I have, what we say I have, you have to submit to. What I have is personality. It is the personality which we say what I have. So this personality is to be subdued or surrendered to the soul consciousness, the soul light. Without this, it is not possible that the soul will have its control and personality. Before the soul can express itself through the medium of personality, the personality has to be subdued, purified and dedicated to service. How? So how we have to do? The personality, how we have to work with the personality? So, the personality should be subdued, purified and dedicated to service. So the purification can be possible when you dedicate yourself to the service. Then it will be easy for us to surrender this personality to the soul through service. Pranidhana, total surrender. Pranidhana means total surrender. The spirit of surrender is very important, because we are stuck up in the personality aspect, form aspect and personality, which is in the form of the ego. Ego is localized. Ego means the localized consciousness, the localized I am. Ego is I am, but localized. So due to this, what happens? We are stuck up. So therefore, surrender, we have to we have to habituate, we have to inculcate spirit of surrender. In the beginning, it appears difficult because when you suggest to your personality to make a surrender, then your mind will obstruct because your mind has fear to lose something. When you are asked to surrender yourself to God or to a guru or whatever it may be, the spirit of surrender. Surrender means you feel you are afraid because by surrendering what I have, everything if I surrender, I will lose. It's fear in your mind will obstruct you from making a surrender. But without surrendering the personality aspect, you cannot make a further step. So surrender. So how to solve this problem, how to resolve it? Because your mind will obstruct first in the beginning to surrender. But without surrender, you cannot make a further step. So you have to apply yourself to service. This service, this attitude to her service makes you possible towards the surrender, spirit of surrender. Service leads to surrender, and surrender leads you to get to the soul aspect. So that is why masters always recommend us to put ourselves into service. Impersonal service. But once again, this service, in the beginning, to get into impersonal service, we need to have a training to serve with. Suppose I want to serve God. How can you serve God? Somebody feels that I don't care for all these beings and all these beings. I want directly to be connected to God. How can you? Some people think like that. I don't want all these other beings. I am not bothered about this. I want direct connection with God. For this, Master has given a wonderful example. If you take a flower, in this flower there are petals, there are stamens, different parts. I don't want these petals and all these, I want only the flower. So if you take away each of the petal, this is not required, petals, no, these are not flowers, take away, stamens take away, then where is flower? The totality of this is what you call flower. Another example, if you hold an onion in your hand and you take the outer layer, peel, this is not onion. Then there is another layer. Take, this is not onion. Another layer. Go on taking all the layers. Ultimately, there is nothing like onion. See? What you call onion is the union of all these layers. If you say, I don't want these layers, I want onion directly, you can't have. In the same manner, if you say, I don't want any connection with all the beings around me, I don't care for them, I want directly God. How can you? For such a person, it is impossible to get into God contact. Master said he has to wait some thousands of births before he can get this, because his ego is so strong. If you don't care for fellow beings and you say directly to God, then Master said God is more aristocratic than this such fellow. More aristocratic, because he is with such fellow, God will be always aristocratic. He will not allow this fellow to reach him because he doesn't care for others. Others are form of God. He cannot believe that. All the forms are forms of the God only. He doesn't understand, he doesn't believe all this, so he wants directly to God. Somebody has constructed a house, new house, and after constructing the house, he made all the arrangement of lights, fans, all the machines and all these things. Okay, but these lines and machines, the fans, lights, they will not work until you have an electric connection from the transformer, from the source. But this fellow said, I want to get electricity directly from the production house, from the powerhouse. I don't want all these intermediary things, this transform and these switches and these fuses. I don't want. Directly I want to connect myself. If you connect directly from the powerhouse to your house will be burnt. Our electric engineer will explain. Can anybody do that? If you want a direct line, directly when the turbine is turning and directly electricity is produced, put a direct line to your house will be burned because of the high electricity. So the electricity should be passed through the switch yard, where it is distributed properly, and from there it has to go through so many transformer and all these things, and then into your house also through the fuses and controls, and then you can have your light and all you can use. Otherwise all your machines, bulbs, everything will be blasted. In the same manner, if really you want to have only directly with connection with God, you cannot exist anymore. You cannot experience it. We should know that. So that is an aristocratic thinking, that's all. So, before the soul can express itself through the medium of personality, the personality has to be subdued, purified, and dedicated to service. Only through service you can get over this. Through discipline, meditation, love and service. So this is what he is giving. What are the means for us to be able to reach, to experience the soul light, the soul experience? What are the, through which we can do that? That he is giving. Through, first is discipline. This is the very first thing. In the first step itself, it appears difficult for us. Discipline. We want to do so many things but for discipline we are not. It appears in the beginning very difficult. 6 o'clock prayer starts. You must be there before 10 minutes before 6. It is very difficult. We came running 1 minute, 2 minutes before prayer. So discipline is something not somebody imposes upon you. You have to put yourself. That is the discipline. If discipline is to be imposed by another person, there will be conflict. So discipline, you have to put yourself voluntarily by yourself, you have to put to discipline. Without discipline, there is no discipleship. See, the word disciple Who is disciple? He who submits to the discipline, he who follows discipline is the disciple. Simply by knowing about masters, simply by just praising them, we cannot be disciples. We cannot be called disciples. Discipleship is it is associated with discipline. Masters are well disciplined because they constantly follow the discipline. Somebody thought that when Master E.K. was doing prayer, somebody asked, why you are a master, why you have to do prayer? Then Master says that, because this question never arises for me, that is why I keep following this discipline. That is why you call me a master, otherwise you will not consider me a master. All the masters will follow discipline. They first follow the discipline, otherwise who will follow them? If master does not do prayer at 6 o'clock, then we also, when master is also not doing, we can also avoid. So we will avoid. We are always ready to avoid. So when we see master is not doing, oh, master is also not doing, we also, let us today skip prayer, let us today skip this and this. We try to skip away. Therefore masters, first they follow the discipline, and by following the discipline, they will influence the disciples to follow the discipline. That is the teaching. They put themselves as the example, always. So somebody asked Master, is it needed for you also to do prayer? Master said, yes, needed. Since you have come to a stage, then Master said there is no such stage. As long as you keep following the discipline, you will be like that. When you stop following, you will fall down. There is no such thing like a stage. It's because some people think that we have now come to a stage where we need not do all these things. But that is not true. Suppose there is a principal of a college. He makes all the timetable, fixes everything. And in this timetable, he also should follow this. If he says, since I made this timetable, I need not follow it, then nobody will follow. The other teachers or the students, nobody will follow because he is not following. He is the principal fellow. So he has to follow, then they will automatically follow because principal is following, we have to follow. Then without saying they will follow. This exactly is true at every level. With the parents and children also, if the parents are not disciplined, how can the children be disciplined? Master used to tell us, your children will only follow you what you do, but not what you say. We always think that our children should follow what we say, but they don't care. Very good observers. So he used to warn us, be careful. If you want your children should be in proper behavior, first you behave properly, you follow discipline, then they will follow you automatically. You need not tell them. Without following, if you say, you must follow discipline, they don't care. So this is true at every step. So discipline is most important. So in the eightfold yogic path also, what Patanjali has given, yama. Disciple, this is disciple, this is discipline. So the first step in the eightfold yoga is yama. Yama and niyama, they are the first two steps. Regulation and discipline. Without discipline, you have no yoga at all.